What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And let's talk about the reasons why Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker of the Democrats, needs to take a stimulus deal before the election. Oh, and don't forget to give this video a like down below. It really helps out our channel. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you can join our family of subscribers of over 250,000 people. This way you won't miss out on new videos. Let's talk about the reasons why Nancy Pelosi from the Democrats needs to take a stimulus deal and agree to it before the election. Number one is Nancy Pelosi is up for re-election on November 3rd, along with all the House members, both Democrats and Republicans. Every single person from the U.S. House of Representatives is up for re-election on November 3rd. Now, I've been hearing a lot of comments from you guys down below in the comments basically saying, if Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell do not pass more stimulus before the election, that they are going to be voted out. In fact, let me know, would you vote for Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell? Would you vote for either of them at this point? It's very interesting because somehow both of them have been in Congress for over 30 years, all the way back to the 1980s. So how do they do it? How do they keep getting reelected year after year after year? Now remember, Nancy Pelosi needs to be reelected every 2 years. And somehow she does it. Every 2 years, she gets reelected. Mitch McConnell only needs to be reelected every 6 years, but he has still done the same feat. And he's up for reelection this year. It's his 6th year right now. They only go up for reelection every 6 years, and this is his year. So the question is, could they possibly, in any universe, be reelected again this year without passing more stimulus? We've had people outside Mitch McConnell's office saying, we're holding up signs. Protesters were outside Mitch McConnell's office for weeks saying, Mitch better have my money. And no, I'm sorry, it wasn't with a B, it was with an M. Although there is rumors that there were some signs that had a B. Now, I do want to let you know, on election day, I will be having multiple reports from you guys. I'll probably be publishing more videos than normal on that day. I will be updating you guys as election day goes on with not only the presidential race and which states he's winning, which states he's losing, who's ahead, but I will also be updating you guys on Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi's re-election campaigns and how they're doing in the polls, or actually the real results at that point. I will be updating you guys as that news is coming in, because I know a lot of you guys are very interested in that, and we'll have to see if they can get reelected again. Now, if one of them doesn't get reelected, that instantly changes the dynamic of everything, because no longer will Nancy Pelosi be in charge at all if she's not elected at all. She's literally out. Okay, and same thing with Mitch McConnell. He's literally out, and a new person steps in. And typically, when a new person steps into the House Speaker role or the Senate Majority role, is they typically try to put their best foot forward, show the American people they're doing a good job, etc., etc. When you've been in your position for a long, long time, that's when kind of the hypocrisy gets to you, and maybe you're doing things more for political reasons instead of, like, remembering the average everyday person sitting at home. When you've been in Congress for 30 some years, man, it seems like they're a little bit out of touch. Now, the other thing that could happen is the Democrats could lose control of the House, and Nancy Pelosi could get reelected, but she loses her House Speaker role. Or the same thing happens in the Senate. Mitch McConnell could get reelected, but maybe the Democrats take over the majority in the Senate, and Mitch McConnell is no longer Senate Majority Leader. Then they lose their positions of power because basically they're not the majority anymore. Nancy Pelosi won't be there at the negotiating table if the Republicans control the House. She basically becomes nothing at that point. And same thing with Mitch McConnell. They don't need to negotiate with him at all because they no longer have the majority. The next thing is, passing stimulus after the election could pose to be a grave mistake to either both the Democrats or the Republicans, because everything changes after the election. President Donald Trump might not want to deal with Nancy Pelosi anymore, or he might want to pass it the day after if he gets reelected, because he now might say, I still got 4 more years, and the economy is a reflection on how good of a president I am. Let's pass the stimulus now. Now, some people say if President Donald Trump is reelected, that Nancy Pelosi will then just have to give in because at this point, there's no chance of him losing. He's already been reelected. And now they should just pass the stimulus because the Democrats really want stimulus to be passed because, the Democrats try to make it seem like they're for the common everyday person. And that's mostly what has benefited here in this stimulus package, besides the money for states and cities. So, if a Trump is reelected, I personally think that Nancy Pelosi will pretty much just agree to the agreement and pass it in the House, and then we'll have to see what happens in the Senate if Mitch McConnell's even there. Probably the day or two after the election. I think it would probably be almost immediate that Nancy Pelosi would agree if she's still in office. And not only that, but if you've been paying attention to the Fed and the Federal Reserve, the Fed basically from the government, they've been begging for more stimulus. They're basically saying that if we don't get stimulus passed now, that we could go into a recession that likes we've never seen in over 100 years. We've literally been seeing headlines like this from the Fed almost every single day, basically begging both the Democrats and the Republicans to pass more stimulus. And it's the Fed and economists that pretty much study the economy and have a larger understanding of what's going on, more so than people in Congress. And the question is, if we weren't up for re-election, if we didn't have an election right now, would we have passed a stimulus package already? Would Nancy Pelosi have already said yes if President Donald Trump wasn't so close to the election on November 3rd? Would she have agreed a month ago and we've already had our second stimulus package and then now be working on our third stimulus package as the months drag on? If this pandemic continues, they have to pass more stimulus at some point or another. There's just no way our economy could survive with almost 1,800,000 to a million people still losing their jobs every single month. Cruise lines have been canceled all the way to the end of the year. Restaurants and small businesses are going out of business in record numbers. Over 1 in 6 small businesses have now completely gone out of business already. And without a vaccine going to happen most likely this year, and this pandemic probably going to go well into 2021, we're seeing spikes in cases not only in Europe, but also in the United States. We're seeing parts of New York City actually go into a second shutdown right now. With all this stuff happening, how could we possibly go on without more stimulus? And that's exactly what the Fed is saying and economists are saying, that we need it now or else we could be in grave danger. In fact, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think? Okay, we're now joined by my beautiful, lovely wife, Laurel, who's apparently actually the real star of this show. I'm just like the leftovers. But she's here to give you guys the next clue. I believe this is the last day of clues, and we will be announcing the winners tomorrow morning, I believe, if I'm counting these clues correctly. So today will be the last days of clues, one clue per video. Make sure you tune in so you don't miss out. If you guess what's correctly in the box, what happens?
Fireworks?
That people have actually guessed that's what was in the box. I've seen a lot of good guesses. In fact, let us know if you think you've already guessed what's correctly in the box. Maybe she doesn't even know.
Okay.
It was funny. The last the last what's in the box with those dragon eggs from back there from Game of Thrones. My parents and her parents didn't even know what was in the box, and they were asking us almost every single day what was in the box. I'm like, oh, you'll just have to guess. You'll have to tune in. So this game's been a lot of fun for us, and I know it's been a lot of fun for you guys. So our clue today, which is clue number 11, is
the item in the box is sometimes captured by a masked man.
Should I go put a mask on?
Mm-hmm.
One more time.
The item in the box is sometimes captured by a masked man.
It is almost Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make sense. So if you want to enter what's into the box, the contest, what do they need to do?
They need to comment their, what is it?
Guess.
Their guess in the comments down below.
And then what happens?
Then we pick the winner.
What happens is if you guess correctly, you're entered into the pool of people who have guessed correctly. From there, we will randomly pick 2 people to receive $125 directly from us, from our family to yours, for a total of $250 from the 2 people. Or you can have my course where we teach people how to sell on Amazon. We have dozens of students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and we have an entire course that teaches people how to do that step by step. In fact, I'll link that video over here. You can watch if you want to learn about how to start selling on Amazon. And over here is our newest stimulus check videos next. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and we will see you in the next video.